you should be. You cannot press like that.
Make progress. Make progress.
Him play at a very good press. So what I'm saying is this. I'm saying he's a good player. Nobody should get you. I'm not saying don't take him to the World Cup. I'm saying he cannot go to the World Cup as a starter. You know, still you have to come to a bench and I'm attacking. We took after one jump, we benched him and he came and changed. There's nothing wrong with benching today and asking him to come and change. There's nothing wrong with that.
Point well made. Point well made.
Players. So what I'm saying is that is one thing we need to look at. And look, why did Otto Addo took the local players today to go and play that game?
Oh, but then his Kosa featured prominently. A free Ibrania came on.
I'm saying, why did he take them?
To play football?
No, because Fentuo read the coach. You remember the coach last week?
Yes, I remember the coach.
They are just not good enough. So I wish some were beaten 4-1. Our coach says our players, Barnier and Kosa and the local boys, they are not good quality. He said it about 2 weeks ago. So
did he say that?
That's not what he said. That's not what he said.
I don't think he said that though.
Yes.
Trying to read the quote. Trying to read the quote.
Okay, hold on. I'm
make
pulling
no,
the quote.
to find the quote.
I found it.
So look,
The quote did not say. Somebody asked him.
Let him read the quote.
Okay.
Somebody asked him why he didn't play the local players against the Central African. Sorry, against Madagascar. They asked him specifically why he didn't play the local players. Oh, listen, and he said for playing players, he says for me, it's not about being local or not being local. I don't care about that. Whether you are from Tamale or from Cape Coast, for me, it's about performance and quality. This is the way I decide. Now listen to the rest of it. When I see a player, especially in training, or when I watch video clips or visit matches, this is what I look at, their performance. The players who started today deserve to start. But so it's fair to say that since that, between that game and now, there's been several training sessions and he's probably seen better qualities from those players, so he's decided to play them.
Coach, please wrap up your point for me so that I can give a chance to some of the other panelists. Please wrap it up for me.
Exactly. So in wrapping up, Fen can attempt to bend the code or whatever he wants to say. The fact of the matter is, the local boys have not gotten any better quality in 3 training sessions or in 2 training sessions. How many training sessions did they train with him? No, I'm not calling now. He says they're not good enough. That's the input I've gotten from his coach. So for me, my last point is very simple. We have a World Cup in November to go to. All that I'm saying is, let's bring in players that will make the Black Stars better. And there were times where his brother said they won't play for the Black Stars. People got involved. Big men. The president of the land got involved and got those boys to rescind their decision. If there's something we can do to get the likes of Bernard Mensah, the likes of Alfred Duncan, and the likes of Jeffrey Schlupp and Co. to rescind that decision as a country, we better begin to speed up and get them to rescind that decision. On the incomings, like the Tariq Lamptey and the Nakiwil, the William brothers, the Hodgson Ordway and Co., that is something me, Coach Nimley, I support 100% because I believe they will make this team better and they will make this team very, very competitive. That is my point.
Thank you very much, Coach Christopher Nimley. Points well made. Let me come to Daniel for your take on the game we just saw. Some people say that the honeymoon is over for Otto Addo. Your thoughts on what's been going on so far? Still 1 win in 9 matches. We lost today's game by 4-1. 18 man scored, COVID depleted, transfer, private business to take care of all that. Tie it up for us.
Yeah, we lost by 4-1. It was a bit disappointing, the result, yes. But I feel there are so many things to put into context and so many things we need to understand. He named a 33-man squad. But going into this competition, this 2-game competition that would have allowed him to properly assess his squad and have them in a good place before September. And he loses a ton of players. And it was just not just a ton of players, a lot of was a ton of key players that we all know that will be play a key part in the future of this team. You look at the starting lineup today, and it had just 4 regulars. There are you brothers, Kudus, and then Danny Amate. There were 3 debutants in the team, 3 debutants that we are almost certain will not go to the World Cup. The goalkeeper is a third choice goalkeeper. You had a right back who is a third choice right back, and I say third choice right back because we all understand and we know that Tariq Lamptey is going to join the Black Stars in the near future. So it will be Tariq Lamptey and then Dennis Odwe. And it was a bit unfortunate. So when I saw the starting lineup and I looked at the bench, I honestly felt very sorry for Otto Addo, because he would have wanted to at least had a group of players who were in his plans, and then some of them who he also expected them to also justify their places in his plans heading into September and then subsequently the World Cup. But what happened was that the guys in there, apart from the 4 guys I've mentioned in the Ayu brothers, Kudus and Amate, maybe Wakaso, if he's fully fit, will go. The rest of them, you really don't see them making it to the World Cup. Yes, Babaraman was on the bench, but yeah, he didn't feature. You look at the fact that Jojo Olakot was missing, Richard Ofori was missing, Gideon Mensah was missing, Kamal Dean, Osman Bukari, Antoine Semenyo, Joseph Edu, Thomas Partey, Elisha Owusu, Kofi Tre, Dennis Odwe, Jonathan Mensah, Abdul Mumin, who many thought if he was in the squad this time would have finally been able to see his quality. But unfortunately for the head coach,
some say that how did Otto Addo not know that all these guys will not be available?
He's not Jesus Christ.
No, but some of these things are not impromptu. I mean, players leaving to go and complete deals, players falling sick. That's an exception.
Yes, Jojo Wolacott, illness. Richard Ofori, injury. Jonathan Mensah, concussion. You look at Partey injury, Joseph Edu injury, Semenyo injury, a number of them. And Kofi Tre had to leave because there's a deal imminent. If your club calls you, and look, it's this is business time. He needs to understand, and it's not like we're going to play a competitive fixture. It's a friendly. So some things like this you need to understand for the players. But on the grand scheme of things, it's very painful for the coach, because this was assessment time for his team. But when you look at the intricate details of today's game, and especially the way the Black Stars conceded their goals, I see it like this. If the Japanese were able to completely breach our system and then score us in, like, carve us open and then beat us properly, I would point a couple of fingers and here and there. But if you look at the sort of goals we conceded, they were largely due to miscommunication. It boils down to players not doing themselves, individual errors, players who are the quality level between the players who play today and the guys who are expected to come in is very vast. You can't compare the quality
but the 4th goal, we were carved up pretty badly. Our right back was basically crawling across the ground, picking grass.
Yes, and you see, that's what I'm saying, that if you look at the quality gap between the guys who played today's game and the guys all things being equal, who would come in and who we know that will go to the World Cup. Look, let's not take this like this is our World Cup squad. 90% of the guys who play today or even on the bench will not make it to the World Cup. And we know. It's not like, let's not pretend. We know. So it will be very harsh to go at the head coach and the technical team, because, look, it's going to be very difficult. Let's also put this into context. This is a Japanese team. This is basically the strongest Japanese team. Yes, Tomiyasu will come in. He's injured, but he will come in, and maybe 1 or 2 names will be missing from the team that played today, but they will replace with much more quality. But this is a top-class, very, very strong Japanese team that played today. And the head coach who's been in charge for about 4 years now. So this is a team that knows themselves. They were playing at home. They're a very strong team playing together. They're in a very good run of form. So it's like a Black Stars team.
Aren't you just making excuses
for
this team?
It's factual. Come on. No, let me ask you a question. If we go into a first game of a Premier League season, okay, and then Liverpool goes into a game against, let's say, Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur are playing Son, they are playing Kane, they are playing their best 11. And Liverpool comes out in that game and they are playing Oxlade-Chamberlain and the youth team players, and you have the likes of, let's say, Fabinho, Thiago, Salah, and then Van Dijk, and then surrounded with youth team players and fringe players, and Tottenham Hotspur beat Liverpool. Are you going to say that Liverpool's season is done? No. You know that
far from it, but again,
you know that
preseason always gives you an indication.
Yes, and when you watch the opening games of preseason, when you watch the first 2-3 games of preseason, where is the youth team players surrounded with some of these experienced heads, you don't really read too much into that because it doesn't give you a sense of what the team will look like. And that's what I'm saying. If you look at the squad today, this is not how you expect the Black Stars to field in the World Cup. And in fact, even in September, when we come up against Angola in those 2 games, if I go to the starting lineup, that's why you see you need to put things into context. You look at Atizigi, and I've mentioned it. He's a 3rd choice goalkeeper. You look at Edmond Addo, who per his performances in the last 2 games, I'll be very surprised if he's given another shot because there are guys who are in there. Elisha Usu is also a defensive midfielder. Idrisu Baba, I didn't even mention his name, is missing from this, and we expect more quality. Look, we know that the likes of Tariq Lamptey, Inaki Williams, Benjamin Nketsia, these guys are coming. We know that they are coming.
Will our problems be solved when they arrive?
But that is quality. That is quality. And you see, when the quality comes, FIFA are not going to make it a 30-man squad. It is still 23. It means guys will have to
won't they have to play together to build chemistry too?
Yes, they will, but that is September. And you see, I'm saying that if you look at the team today, Ali Duseidu, debutant. You look at Dennis Kosa, debutant. Edmond Addo playing as a centre-back when he's a defensive midfielder. You look at Danny Amati, okay, he's a starter. In J, he was playing in a 3-man midfield, but he's a natural winger. It didn't help the coach that he didn't have his full complement of his squad to be able to test out this system properly. And that's why I say I feel sorry for him, because if I'm looking at what he intended to do and what it looked like he intended to do, basically it may be a bit harsh, but I feel this competition is now just a waste of time. Because it's a group of fringe players who is not going to have anything to do with in the next couple of months. And it's just...
So the Kirin Cup that we waited for so much has now become a ghost tournament.
Seriously. Because, look, it's factual. It's not like we are playing around here. You look at the bench. You look at Nuruddin. Atizigi, Wolakot, and then Richard Ofori. You know, 3 goalkeepers will go to the World Cup. So probably if Atizigi is the 3rd choice as it stands and what it looks like, then probably Nuruddin is not going to the World Cup. And you see, I'm mentioning the World Cup because all these things are preparation for the World Cup. Okay? So if you have a squad like this, a depleted squad like this, just 18 players going into this competition, it doesn't really give the coach the opportunity to test out a system and test out players and players that he was expecting to come out and justify their inclusion to the World Cup. It's a bit painful. If these guys were injured and the guys who are injured were fit, it would have been a much better situation for him. Trust me. Because this is just not good enough. And I've mentioned that, look, you can't tell me that you expect Dennis Kosa to make the World Cup squad. We know. You can't tell me that you expect the likes of MJ to make the World Cup squad. We know. No, it's true. They are not at
Daniel,
the level.
if what you are saying is anything to go by, then Otto Addo is doing all of us a disservice.
No, he's
if
not.
You don't have
That's
any plans of taking MJ to the World Cup.
Circumstances have caused this. Okay, he named the 33-man. I'm not saying everybody you take must be part of your plans. I'm saying that if you are in even the Japanese team, for example, you can look at it. There are some of the names who are have not made too many appearances for Japan, but based on their club form, you can see that they've been slowly drafted into the team. Yes, and they are testing them out. So that's a good opportunity. You have a group of, let's say, 6-7 regulars, and then you have 3 or 4 new players who are being tested out in the surrounding of being surrounded by regulars. The experience is around them. So it gives you a sense of what the team will look like. But for Ghana, it's majority inexperienced guys, debutants, fringe players, and then just 1 or 2 players who we know are in the main plan. So it's been a huge disservice. These injuries, these personal issues that the players have had to go to, illnesses and things, it's really derailed the plans of the head coach and the technical team. But personally, I'm not really reading too much meaning into it. When you look at the system, which has been tested before, this 3-back system, and we've seen that with much more quality in the team, it can work. There's evidence that this system can work. So then you ask yourself, is there quality outside? Yes. Will that quality be drafted inside, all things being equal? Yes. So then, what is the problem? It's the difference between Ali Duseidu playing at left centre back somebody like Ali Seidu and then Mohamed Salisu coming in. That's a look. It is a huge golf in class. You look at the guy who was instructed to be sort of the ball progressor in the midfield today, Wakaso. We all know that Wakaso's greatest strength is not his passing, but he was given that job. And this is a Wakaso who is also now coming or trying to build fitness. So the gap between Wakaso and the Thomas Partey who walks into this team, it's a huge difference. So when coach makes the point about the Japanese pressing Wakaso hard and he finding it difficulties to break through, it's not like it's going to run through the Black Stars. There's top class quality that will walk in and fix this problem. So yes, for the coach, I feel sorry for him that he will not be able to test out like what the Japanese are doing, like what Tunisia are doing. But yes, we get this done. We get the quality in September, and there's enough time. There's quality coming, and we see when Rio recognizes Rio, when players like Tariq Lamptey and Co come, and they are top players, we know that they are very good players. Like Dennis Odoi. It didn't take Dennis Odoi six months to settle into the Black Stars because we know he had the quality. He came in, he slotted straight in, and he hit the ground running. So if you look at the caliber of players that we expect to come in, like Salisu, like Dennis Odoi, when they come in, I'm not betting against them to hit the ground running.
Okay.
And
today you've done a very good Sergio Ramos job. Very good defense.
Quick thoughts on that.
Yeah, very good defense of the team's performance today. Listen, I understand the sentiment that the team wasn't the strongest team Otto Addo could have had. But all of the excuses Daniel has given today about him not having the first team and the quality not being there, it's neither here nor there, honestly. I do agree 100% that we're making too much fuss out of a friendly match. That's okay. That's fine because Ghana has previously lost friendly matches in the past, even with our regular players. Before the World Cup in 2010, we went to the Netherlands, we lost 4-1. Went to the World Cup.
They say because we lost 4-1, then
no, that's not the point. Went to the World Cup, went to the quarterfinals. So friendly matches don't really tell you exactly the strength of your team. So that is a fact. However, the team that was put out there, these are national team players. Let's not sit here and pretend like they are not quality. We would have been the same people to sit here and cry every day about the inclusion of those players or the lack of it for that matter. Yep. We cry every day for the inclusion of Barnier and for Dennis Kosa to be included. We said Seydou has played a lot of football in the French League 1. He must be included. And Diadon won Player of the Year for his club, Reading. So he must play. Amate is a top Premier League player. He must play. So if you bring all of these players, Jordan Ayew started, Andre Ayew started. If you bring all of the Wakasu, we understand. Many people didn't want him to play because we said he wasn't fit. But the rest of the players, there's not really a lot of argument against them. Okay, so when you line up against Japan, we expect that you do better than they did. Today they were shambolic, and let's call it out. Let's not sit here and try to downplay it. It was a poor performance from those players, and they could have done so much better. Atizigi, every day, people sit here and say that he's a quality goalkeeper and that he plays regularly in the Swiss top league.
Has made
when he's not
very
included, yes, when he's not included, people cry. He's coming. He shipped in 5 goals in 2 games. Now it is easy for you to analyze each goal and say it's not his fault. For every other goal most goalkeepers concede, you can analyze each one of them and say that this is not exactly the goalkeeper's fault. But when you step in there as a national team player, call out of dozens of footballers to go and represent the country, we expect you to do better. And as for the issue of a lack of cohesion because it's a depleted squad and they haven't played together, we are about to call in a group of Avengers who have never kicked a ball for the Ghana national team. And the only chance they have to play with each other before the World Cup will be the September window.
And Hatsnodo even won't be eligible.
He won't be eligible.
So would be the September window.
Will have to play then?
So if there are issues of cohesion today, because some players were playing for the first time, making their debut.
That's why I was asking
then
about
surely
we are talking about quality.
It doesn't matter.
Is Alidu close to the class of Salisu?
You see, when you talk about chemistry, it is not.
It's not about chemistry. I said quality. Is
No. You said there was a lack of cohesion because they had never played together.
Yep.
Yes.
Then I'm saying that it will be the same when Salisu comes. He would never have played with this team when he makes his debut in September.
And more so because you
he's a quality player. But
quality, and I gave the Dennis Prince Odo example.
But you see,
that's quality. He slots into the team. He gets the job done.
What if we are about to infuse 4 or 5 new players into our team?
I'm even shocked. So I'm saying that if there are chemistry, if there are chemistry issues today, because players were simply playing for the first time, then you can expect that there would be chemistry issues if the players are playing together for the first time in September too.
Against superior opposition.
So, but you see, it is funny the way history works, because this very national team under a different coach in 2018 or 2017 went to Japan right after an AFCON qualifier, just like today's game, and beat the Japanese team by 2-0. And it was under Kwesi Appiah, and this was under a much changed team. And you know what's better? In that game, that 2017, that was Kwesi Appiah's only 3rd match back as national team coach. Abraham Grant started the qualifying campaign, didn't beat Uganda. They brought in Kwesi and then lost to Egypt. Those 2 games, lost to Egypt away, drew against Uganda at home. He was sacked. We brought back Kwesi Appiah. Kwesi Appiah's first game was at home against Congo Brazzaville. In that game, Ghana were supposed to win to breathe life back into our World Cup qualifying campaign for 2018. Congo scored first. Took us a long time to equalize. And you guess who equalized? It was Thomas Partey. It ended 1-1. 3 days later, we went to the Congo, and then we beat them by 5-1. Partey scored a hat-trick. Now, right after that game, we flew all the way to Japan. Now, the starting lineup of that game was Richard Ofori, Harrison Afo, Lumo Agbenyonu, Daniel Amate, Jonathan Mensah, Friye Akwa, Ebenezer Ofori, Richmond Boachiadon, Thomas Ajipon, Thomas Partey, Christian Achu. When we played Japan later, this was the starting lineup. Richard Ofori, Joseph Atamalawe, Lumo played. We brought in Nicholas Opoku, Rashid Sumaila, and Diadom. Nana Opoku, remember Nana Opoku, called him from Belgium. This was his debut.
Nana Mpoma Opoku plays for Wasland Beverly.
Partey played that day. Isaac Saki was making his debut. Frank Champo, Emmanuel Boateng, we won that game, beat Japan by 2-0 easily. Then went to play against, I think, Iceland. Right after that.
2-2.
And then drew that particular game. And this was a much changed team. But they still showed quality. So I'm saying that I do understand that people are making too much fuss of the defeat. But there is no justification for today's performance. And for those players that were called up, I have sat here and have been consistent in saying that Otto Addo and the coaches need to give a lot of these players the opportunity for us to see the quality they are made of. So he's giving them the opportunity, and they have been poor, and let's call it out.
Because if I get a chance to play for the Black Stars, you need to show out. You need to show the coach why the other guys who are not there should not be getting back into the team. So this is the
national team. So it is. So it is. You see. So it's because you see we talk about the quality all the time, but it's the quality of the starting 11 alone will not win you competitions. We need impact players that can show that they can start and do well. So if they go and start you against Japan, and you go and, can I use that word, shunt it, then I'm sorry. And for the head coach, yes, of course, there was a bit of an opportunity for him to try something new with that 3-back system. We saw positive signs, but overall it was a disaster. So he would have learned.
I didn't see any positive signs.
So he would have learned some lessons about how to implement that system going forward. You understand? And yes, maybe if there were different players, it would have been different. But for the players that played today, they let themselves down. And the coach himself would have been very unhappy with the way they performed. And he himself would have been very unhappy. Because see,
can I ask you a question?
The only opportunity, let me finish this one. Okay. The only positive that I see out of this defeat is what I tweeted earlier.
That maybe we wanted to meet Chile.
Not that we wanted to meet Chile. But yes, it's a positive that we are getting to meet Chile, is what I'm saying.
Can I just respond to that point? I feel like it's very simplistic to say that
Because
playing
we
another
are
South America.
I
I'm too advanced in
I have
football.
never gone to that reason though.
I'm too advanced in football to be thinking like
But
this.
But it may sound simplistic. But if you have a game against Nigeria and you play against Ghana or Cameroon or Cote d'Ivoire, trust me,
No,
you
I
do have an
disagree.
idea.
I disagree too.
Look at Chile when they were at their peak under Bielsa and Sao Paulo, the type of football they were playing. Then go and look at Uruguay playing.
Very
If you
different.
If you go and say you are going to use one to prepare for the other, you'll be toast because they are nowhere near each other.
I don't think when you play.
I think we said because they are South American teams,
Yes,
it's
you
okay
see,
to play
so
both of them.
sometimes I'm
Even
not sure,
even
I'm not
Brazil
sure-
and Argentina, they don't
I'm-
play similarly.
I'm not sure it's about the tactics. I think it's more about the personality. You know, it's more about the person and the attitude, because most of these
I
players.
agree with you on that
Yeah,
part.
most of these players. In fact, most footballers, it's a cultural thing. So when you play against an Asian team, there are certain cultural traits that you expect, and those traits will come to show on the day of the performance. If you play against an Asian team, one thing you know is that they will never stop running.
Yeah, stamina, 100%.
It doesn't matter who, whether it is South Korea, it is Japan, you will get that from them. Even the Chinese,
friends,
without the quality, they will run.
Friends, let me quickly ask you this question. When you saw the starting lineup today, especially Japan's starting lineup, frankly speaking, what did you expect?
That we will get beaten.
So then it goes to show that you appreciate the quality of the Japanese team. And at the same time also, when you looked at the Ghana team, you saw that this team simply
Were
did
you
not have
expecting
quality.
Ghana to get thumped by 4 goals? to
I was
1?
afraid, especially when I saw the back line.
Okay.
Can I
you
ask
see,
you guys a
Let me take your thoughts now. I
You
mean,
see, my issue is, whilst we're expecting to lose, there's 2 things about the performance that bothered me. We are not able to get forward, and we really struggled with this. We couldn't break out of their press, and when we got the ball, we were too slow, which goes to the intensity points coach made. I was watching the ball with Godfred. You see the moments maybe someone like Andrea you gets the ball, whoever in midfield gets the ball. You see maybe the 2 forward players running. Then it's like the defense and the midfield are walking. So we can't even take advantage of the ball and move it up and progress, because they weren't progressing as a team. So maybe that goes back to Daniel's point about cohesion. But at the same time, with international football, you won't have 3 months on the training ground to get the cohesion. So we need to be able to get some short-term cohesion. That being said, maybe if we had more quality players, they'd take on these things faster. That may be true. That may be points later on when we see these guys in September. But we don't know for sure whether they'll fit. And even when the new guys come, how would that change our lineup? Because we can't see we are going to play the way we've been playing when the players change. I don't think that's a good idea, because if we are bringing new players,
and
how
I'm
do they fit
anticipating
in?
that we'll probably have at least 5 new players to take to the World Cup. At least 5.
And but I do agree with Daniel on the points that if you look at this lineup, 4, maybe 3 players will be starting our first game at the World Cup if all goes right. So with that in mind, you can tell yourself that, okay, let's not get too worked up about the result. And he's right. A lot of these players will not even make the squad, if we are being honest. So there's that aspect to it. But at the same time, the kind of details in the game, they were a bit lacking. It was a bit disappointing. Like I said, the cohesion of it. Even the goal we scored, they gifted us the goal. Let's not take away
Well
from
taken goal though.
Exactly. Let's not take away from Jordan Ayew's finish. Great finish.
His 19th goal.
Yes, equal to Abedi Pele. So let's a legend, a Black Stars legend.
Don't do this.
I'm not doing it.
But it's not true.
I'm
Don't
not
do
doing
this.
it. Well,
How many Black Stars goals does Abedi Pele have?
19.
Are you sure about this?
Oh, my brother.
I need to cross check this again.
Oh,
I'm not
cross-
too sure. I'll
You are
cross check.
talking to
No,
Mr.
no,
Stats
no,
here.
no,
You are
this-
talking to the statistics.
No. Right,
Brother.
so I shouldn't cross check or what? Please.
Oh, cross check.
I'll cross check
triple
this
check,
again.
quadruple check. It will tell
Go
you.
on, make your cross
But
check.
yeah, so that being said, again, the small details were lacking, and our inability to create serious chances is what worried me, because we saw it against Nigeria. We complained. They did us. They were solid against Madagascar, and we see the same problems against the Central African Republic. So right now, I'm not too concerned about our defending, because when we are playing the games we should win, we are pretty solid defensively. But we are not creating as many chances as we should. We are not.
I'm worried about us winning 1 game in 9 matches.
Well, we can go into that. Let's not go into that one, because first of all, half the games were another coach. So
The Black Stars.
I mean, I agree with you. It's still the black. It's been a disappointing 2022. We can't go away from that. But I don't want us to say 9 games when Otto Addo has only been in charge of 5, and the 2 against Nigeria. Nigeria have a better team. We drew those games. We go to the World Cup. So for me, the only result that really worries me of the 5 he's played is the Central African Republic game, because that was a game we should have won easily, and we kind of threw away 2 points. This game, again, we're expected to lose, but the manner of the defeat, there's some questions there, but I won't put too much on it again because, like Daniel said, the quality of the players, and we are unlikely to see some of these players again. So, if I had to rate my disappointments, because every Black Stars defeats a disappointment, I would, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll say I'm about a 4 out of 10. Yes, and let me just say for comparison, the Comoros game was -3. So, just to let you know.
Well, for all the players out there who aren't taking advantage of their opportunities, Mohamed Polo has a message for you. Because look, he was a legend of his time. He took his national team appearances seriously.
Very seriously.
It didn't matter who was playing alongside him.
At all.
And at the end of his career, people had all these things to say about Polo.
Mohamed Polo, the dribbling magician. Mohamed Polo, the magnificent. The story about the magician player. The player with different accolades. I'm a maestro. I'm a wizard. I'm Polo to Polo. I'm Wonder Boy. I'm player extraordinaire. I'm scientist footballer. I'm footballer extraordinaire. Masa, mention the you see, I've already, the name is in the book. Different accolades. And you are in the country. I became a coach from showing to the whole Ghana public that this man, after footballing, he will become a coach. Because I became a coach player. With no other team has of force. Let me tell you another.
Charlie, do you know coach player? You know a coach player?
The magnificent.
No, play it again. Play it again. I beg you. Let me just listen to the accolades. I just want to hear the accolades.
Mohamed Polo, the dribbling magician. Mohamed Polo, the magnificent. The story about the magician player. The player with different accolades. I'm a maestro. I'm a wizard. I'm Polo to Polo. I'm Wonder Boy. I'm player extraordinaire. I'm scientist footballer. I'm footballer extraordinaire.
It's okay. I don't want to hear again.
Oh, Charlie.
Say, I am a scientist footballer. Polo to Polo.
Yes, say.
Talk to anyone alive in the 60s, they'll be telling you the same thing. So me,
I'm a scientist footballer.
They believe
I'm a scientist footballer. I'm a wizard. Have you ever heard somebody call himself a wizard before?
He can call himself footballer, sir. I don't care.
Polo the Magnificent.
Yeah, I believe in
Now I need to change my Twitter handle. Polo the Magnificent.
But on a more serious note,
Hey,
if you listen to people speak about Mohamed Polo and what he did
media, I doubt that Pele was that good.
In
I
the
believe in
60s.
Mohamed Polo.
in the 60s and the 70s, Polo was Polo before Abedi
he was
Pele.
Polo. He was Polo to
inspired
Polo.
Abedi Pele.
He was
In
Polo
terms
to
of
Polo
his
to
skill
Polo.
level, the great
magician.
story about the miracle of Elwak, all of it started with Mohamed Polo. Mohamed Polo made history. I think, unfortunately for him, during the period when Mohamed Polo was really at his peak, Ghana never really did well at the AFCON. And then when he finally won the AFCON in 1978, he was one of the older members of the squad. In that 78 team was more of Golden Boy Abdul Razak making a big name for himself, won the African Footballer of the Year that year. Polo played his part, but he wasn't as influential as he was the years preceding that. And for me, I think that is probably why many Ghanaians don't recognize or regard Polo in the way he feels he should be regarded. But Mohamed Polo's skill level, when you listen to historians, I was privileged to listen to Kambediako speak so graciously about his talent level. He is absolutely phenomenal. You interviewed him before.
Yeah, Polo to Polo. I beg you. Are you a wizard?
Are you a wizard?
Are you a maestro?
Sure.
Please play it for me again. I beg you. One more time.
Polo
One more time for the people.
Mohamed Polo, the dribbling magician. Mohamed Polo, the magnificent. The story about the magician player. The player with different accolades. I'm a maestro. I'm a wizard. I'm Polo to Polo. I'm Wonder Boy. I'm player extraordinaire. I'm scientist.
See, I won't listen again. Say, I am Polo to Polo. Player extraordinaire.
Magnificent.
He said, see, I've never heard anybody say, I am a wizard.
I am a wizard.
Ah, Charlie. Let's talk some transfer business. Let's start off from the camp of Man United, and then we'll move on to Liverpool. Well, the word is that United have had a 60 million euro bid for Barcelona's Frankie de Jong rejected by Barcelona. The cash-strapped Barcelona, who don't have money to register players, are rejecting a 60 million euro bid. The word also is that Barcelona have told de Jong that the board is unhappy with him because his performances have been crap since ever since he came to the Camp Nou, and so they need to move him on to make space for other players to come. Daniel, let me start off with you on this one. Initial thoughts on the de Jong transfer. Is it a move you are don't come in? Should United be spending 60 million on de Jong, and where does he fit in United's plans if he eventually does come?
United made Pogba leave, so now they need to replace him, and they need to replace him with quality.
I saw what you sneaked in there.
Is it not true?
I won't mind you. Go on.
This one not serious. But yes,
now
look,
he's looking for love and things. You will continue. We'll talk about that
it is
later.
what it is. World Cup winner. Look, with the de Jong move, I understand it. If you read the backstories, Ten Hag knows this guy. Of course, he made his name under Ten Hag with the Ajax team. Got that big money move to Barcelona, and he's not really quite replicated that form at Ajax at Barcelona. Barca wants money. They want the player, they like the player. Javi feels like he can use the player, he can get the best out of the player. But they also understand that they need money. And if they get their valuation, if Man United meets the valuation of the player, they will sell. And that's 80 million euros. But Barcelona have set an 80 million euro valuation for...
You think he's worth that kind of money?
That's the problem. You see, if you also read the backstories, Man United have set 150 million pounds for this transfer window. If you are going to take 80 million euros, which is like 75 million pounds on one player, then look, how much is left to dish out and
for a team that says they are rebuilding?
A team that is rebuilding. Also, if you look at the United outs, as in the players, the exits, the players who are leaving, most of them are leaving for free. Pogba is going for free, Mata is going for free, Lingard is going for free, Matic is going for free. So it's not like United is getting in money from transfers and then they can reinvest it into the squad. So that 150 million transfer kitty looks like it will stay 150 million. It doesn't look like it's going to increase by player exits. And that's what makes it very difficult for Man United. And also we know that Ten Hag wants to fix the midfield problem before he starts going out, going around to other areas of the pitch. And if you look at the Man United midfield, look, it lacks so much balance, it's scary. As it stands right now with Pogba and Matic out of the team, in that central midfield area, United only have Fred and McTominay and maybe Hannibal if they are going to put him in the team next season. And that is nowhere close to the sort of quality that will finish you even in the top 6 in the Premier League, because we know that the gap between the top and the rest of the teams is closing season by season. So United really need some quality in there. And Frankie de Jong, look, if he's available for cheaper, I feel he'll make sense. But honestly speaking, at this particular point in time, the 80 million is just a bit too much for me. Look, United went out and got Maguire for 80 million. It didn't work. You look at Wan-Bissaka, 50 million. It didn't work. There are so many examples of players that United have paid big money for and hasn't necessarily worked. Yes, one will argue that this is a coach that has used the player before, he trusts the player. Yes, I perfectly understand that. But I feel like even if De Jong is going to replicate that Ajax form at Man United, the 80 million is just a bit too much, because what it will mean is that United will not be able to go out and fix the other areas of the pitch, which urgently need reinforcement. You look at the attacking area, look at the likes of, after Ronaldo and Sancho, you can't really trust Elanga, Martial and Rashford to do the sort of work they required for an entire season. So United definitely need to invest in that area. You look at the centre-back area, it looks like Bailly will leave. Maguire and Maguire is not somebody you can pin your hopes on as somebody who can carry you and give you the quality you need to sustain the whole season. So there are so many areas of the pitch that Man United need to strengthen, and that's why it's a bit you don't really expect them to go out and dish out 80 million on just one player and then have to negotiate and negotiate and try and get quality players for very little money to fix the rest of the other areas that also need reinforcement. So for me, I don't necessarily don't commit this deal. If you could come cheaper, if the 60 million was accepted, fine. But look, 80 million euros is plus add-ons is just too much for De Jong at this particular point in time.
Susu Graham, let's talk about Darwin Nunez, because that transfer is giving me headaches, honestly speaking. Charlie. 80 million euros. Now, for the uninitiated, why should anybody be buying Darwin Nunez for 80 million? What kind of striker is he like? Who can you liken him to? What does he bring to the table?
I know you're not going to like this comparison, but it's very simple. He's a Uruguayan Romelu Lukaku. They are very similar in their profiles. The fact that they are both tall, fast and strong. They rely a lot on their physical prowess. Their technique is not as clean. I think that Nunez has better movement and is better in the air, but I also think he's worse at technical things than Lukaku. And I also feel like Lukaku has proven himself at a higher level in the sense that we've seen him score goals in the Premier League. We've seen him score goals in Serie A, but Darwin Nunez, we've only seen him score goals in the Spanish Segunda and the Portuguese League. He had a strong Champions League campaign, don't get me wrong, but his level is not as proven right now. So that's the thing. But yeah, he's very similar to Lukaku in that mode. But I believe
that's a bit of a stretch.
What's
I think he's better technically than Lukaku.
Oh, that's a dirty lie.
That's very true. That's very true. Come on.
He's not.
Look, no. If you
Hold your thoughts there. We'll come back to this Darwin Nunez discussion in a bit. We have Mohamed Zidan on the line, Borussia Dortmund legend. He is in Ghana for the Borussia Dortmund versus African Legends game that will be played tomorrow at the Accra Sports Stadium. Mo, good evening and welcome to Sports Panorama. Welcome to Ghana as well. How are you enjoying the country so far?
Yeah, hello, how are you? Good evening, and yeah, so far I'm enjoying Ghana a lot. Ghana has been very great to me. To my old memories as well with the Egyptian national team. I played here in Ghana with Egypt national team many times, and especially in 2008 when we won the African Cup of Nations. So it's nice to be back.
Very, very nice to be back as well. I remember you from your shenanigans when Ghana played Egypt. I think it was the qualifiers, right?
It was the group
game, yes.
Kumasi.
Yeah, and you were
out his boots
and was doing the boots is too hot celebration.
Yeah, the boot was very hot. Yeah. It's still actually very hot.
Good to know. Good to know.
It has been a very great time back in 2008. The people here are very, very friendly and very lovely. The Ghanaian people always we love them in Egypt, and we stayed in Kumasi. As I remember, I think we stayed in Kumasi for like 3 weeks because we've been playing all our games in Kumasi, and then we had to move from Kumasi to Accra for the final, and the final was against Cameroon, and then we were lucky to beat Cameroon again for the final with 1-0. So it was a great experience for all of us to be African champion in Ghana, and yeah, it was nice memories. In 2010 we had planned to play against Ghana again in the final, but in Angola, and then we managed to win 1-0 against Ghana in the final. So that was a bad one.
Nice one. Mo, somebody wants to ask you a question really quickly in the studio.
Oh, well, my personal favorite moment was when you turned Kolo Toure inside out. Do you have a favorite moment of the tournament apart from that you want to share with us? Like a specific moment on the pitch?
I didn't hear if you were like
voice was not... Sorry. I was saying that I remember you had a great moment against Kolo Toure in one of the games. Is there a specific moment on the pitch that really stands out to you during your Egypt career you might want to talk about?
I'm really sorry, the voice.
Okay. Let me just ask for you from this end. He's asking
please,
that
yes.
You did something really, really wonderful against Kolo Toure in that game, but we are asking that is there any part of your Egypt career which is special to you that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, of course. All it's always for every football player. It's always an honor to play for the national team and wear the national team jersey and sing the national team song. So for me, always when I played for Egypt, it was very special. To me, African Cup of Nations has always been a great honor to be a champion of Africa, because it has been my dream since I was a kid, and then I managed to play the 2008 in Ghana, and then I become champion, and then 2010. Another memory, of course, for the national team, which will always stay in my heart and will always mean a lot to me, when we played the Confederation Cup in South Africa in 2009, and then we played against Brazil, and I was very lucky to score 2 goals against Brazil at that game, and then we lost in the extra time 4-3. We were behind with 2 goals, and then I managed to score the 2 goals for the draw. And then the game after, we managed to beat the champion of the world, Italy. We beat them 1-0. Yeah, if you remember, of course, the game. We beat them 1-0, and this was always, like African champions can beat the world champions. So it's always, when African team represent the African content in the World Cup or in the Confederation Cup, it's always a big thing. So I was honored with that.
Now, you and some of your old teammates are back in town. Owomoyela, I remember him very well. I remember Weidenfeller very well as well. The game is tomorrow. You play against the likes of Sami Kufuor and a few of the legends from the African continent, as well as Ghanaian legends. How much are you looking forward to this game? I mean, you guys, I'm sure you guys haven't met in a while. How much are you looking forward to tomorrow's game?
Very much forward. Actually, it's very nice always to be back with my ex-team colleagues like Owomoyela, Weidenfeller, Dede, Evan Nilsson, all the guys. We have so much fun with each other, and we used to play often those kind of games, like the Legends games, and like we having always this tour. We've been traveling around the world to play all these kind of games. It's always nice to be back together. It has been a while because of the Corona situation for the past 2 years, so it's our gathering together since 2.5 years, so it's very nice, especially now when we play in Africa. My content with my teammates, ex-teammates, against all my colleagues from Africa, national teams, like all the one, like you said, Kufuor, Asamoah Gyan, Muntari, Adebayor, all the big guys. It's always nice to meet with them. I haven't seen them for a while. I saw Asamoah yesterday, and then we had so much fun talk. We played together in the UAE League. We played... Sorry?
No, go ahead.
We spoke together yesterday because we played together at the same time when he was playing in Al Ain in Al Emirates. I played it there as well in the Emirati League, and then we had so much fun time together when we met each other. So we had a nice talk. Tomorrow we're looking all forward to be together on the field. We want to have a nice show to the people. It's not going to be an aggressive day tomorrow. I think it's going to be a very nice, quiet day. We need to have fun. We need to have fun, enjoy the game, give the people and the spectators, all the fans, a very nice day to remember.
You say the boots are still hot. How many goals do we expect from you tomorrow?
You can expect me scoring a goal and celebrating the same way I did in Ghana in 2008, with dancing with the goal, with the boots.
2 more questions before you go. Just 2 quick questions. Otto Addo played for Dortmund. You obviously saw him in your time at Dortmund. He's now Black Stars head coach. What do you make of Otto Addo's transition from player to head coach?
Of course, Otto has been my best friend in my career. We played together, me and him in Mainz. We played together in Hamburg. I have so many years of relationship and friendship and brothership together with him. I'm very honored and I'm very proud of him, of what he developed himself from the player way to the coach way. He's very smart person, very dedicated person. He loves his job, he loves what he does, and he's full of vision of the game, and he has the joy in the game. I think, and I'm 100% sure, he will be the good person for Ghana development national team and the youth players. He worked very good and very hard with the youth players, with the young players. I think Otto will do very well, and it's Ghana should be very proud of having a person like Otto, who have been dedicating all his life to football, all his passion in football, and I'm sure he will do well.
Let's talk a bit about Mohamed Salah before you go. A lot of people thought that this was the year he could win the Ballon d'Or. Do you still think he can win, or for you is his chance gone?
No, I don't know. Salah has won many personal titles this year, private titles as the goal scorer, the best goal scorer. Salah, he's our pride in Egypt. We are all proud of him, and we all support him, and we all stand on his back. It's for us. You know, we will love to see him winning the Ballon d'Or, but he will always stay in our heart and in our eye, the winner, because we are proud of what he achieved so far. But sometimes Ballon d'Or is not about how many goals you score, and it's not about only, you know, it depends on too many other things. You know, so Salah. He was not lucky this year with the Champions League final. We would have loved to have him winning the Champions League final, and then he was not lucky in the league in the final game. They were so close to win the competition and the league and the League of England, of course, but he was not lucky enough as well. So he lost 2 big titles this year. And then, of course, also with the national team of Egypt, he lost the final of the African Cup of Nations against Senegal, and then he lost again. By saying lost, Salah didn't lose. The Egyptian national team together lost, but Salah, he always have a dream and a goal, and we all stay behind him and behind his dream. So we wish him luck. I still believe, and we all in Egypt believe that Salah, he still can win the Ballon d'Or. He still have many years ahead of him, and if he keep going the way he does, then we are 100% sure one day will come. You're talking about a player has been winning the best goal scorer in the Premier League for the past 4 or 5 years. Every year he scored around 50 goals or 40 goals or 35 goals. So when you score that amount of numbers of goals in a big league like England, playing for Liverpool, scoring in the Champions League, so it means a lot. So we wish him the best.
Finally, Mohammed, have you tried any Ghanaian food so far?
Yes, since I've been here now for the past 2 days, we eat Ghanaian food, and it's nice. The rice with the vegetables, the chicken with the Ghanaian
jollof.
sauce. It's very nice. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mo. We'll see you hopefully at tomorrow's game.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
So Mohamed Zidan getting to us there, and we are giving away 10 tickets, right?
Yes, 10 tickets. 10 tickets to the game tomorrow.
We'll give it to the texters, the people who have been texting
Yeah,
into the show.
they deserve it. So when you read a message, you give them a ticket.
Those of you who don't like adding your names to text messages.
Today. So the players who have come in, Roman Weidenfeller,
Yeah.
Legend.
the goalkeeper, Evan Nelson.
Weidenfeller is huge.
Yeah. Dede,
Remember in the Brazilian.
yes, Ketch, and David Odonko
Oh.
is also in town.
2006
Oh.
World Cup
Captain.
young player. of the
Yes,
tournament.
yes,
David
of
Odongo
Ghanaian
like a
descent.
Ferrari, he could run.
Yes, Owo is here, Krink is here, Tinga, Yankola.
6'7" Yankola.
The
my
Czech
goodness.
played against John Mensah at the
man
World Cup in
target man.
2006. John Mensah
One of the first victims of Asamajan.
He's in the mix.
Grosskreutz is also
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Kevin Gross.
Kevin Grosskreutz.
Charlie.
That guy played every
Charlie.
position apart from
Yeah,
center.
he
Why?
played under club. He's still young.
Utility
Yes,
player.
He didn't bring Blashikovsky.
No, they didn't.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, please. Do you want them to come and kill our commentators?
Akobet to come mention the name, please.
Henrich is also here. Dickel, Mohamed Zidan himself, Ibrahim Tanko.
Okay.
Our very own.
Bundesliga winner.
Oh, Charlie.
Uncle.
Spot it.
And you have this name many times. Victor Ikeba.
Oh!
Starboy Ikeva.
Charlie,
Still donning the rasta.
tell me about
Yeah,
it.
Charlie. Tomorrow evening, I believe 7 p.m. So it should be exciting.
Floodlighting.
Yeah. It's a party, man.
Thank you.
It's a party. So Borussia Dortmund legends against Ghana legends. The Ghana side there, the players playing to even Abedi.
Maestro
Yeah,
himself.
the maestro. When the maestro
Himself.
comes out to play one of
Himself.
Charlie, do you know Malam Yaya?
these matches, the Malam Yaya. So Tanko said he would do half.
Charlie, if you don't know Malam Yaya, go and get some videos. So
play for
one of
Arsenal.
our first players to play in the Bundesliga.
Yes.
You go and look at. Go
He
and
said
watch.
one half. Tanko said one half for Dortmund legends, one half for Ghana legends. Tony Bafu will be there.
Charlie, I wanted to see CK in action. Oh, Charlie.
Oh, Charlie. Zike will be there.
No, Zike will be there.
Zike will be there. Same match.
Let me read messages and let's see if we can do do some quick giveaways.
Every message comes with a giveaway if they are interested.
This one says, as for me, all I want is a song dedication for all my fellow Arsenal fans. The song is Yakubu by Quao.
So kickoff is 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, 5:30 p.m. Okay. Yeah. So Samuel from Teshi, Samuel, please, if you are listening, you should show up here tomorrow with an ID card. You'll be given a ticket. This one here is from Caesar Sabala Ginger from Adenta Frafra. You see, you should
Ginger.
Charlie. Sabala Ginger.
Budget tickets.
Budget tickets. Yeah, Mau. Let's move on. More messages. This one here is from Jude inside Kakasunanka. Charlie Kakasunanka, they want to me.
You go come. Jude go come.
Is it Saturday night?
Give it to Jude, my brother.
If Jude can come here, we'll give Jude your ticket.
Jude.
But if you cannot, then
the last 3 tickets gone.
We'll give it to
Shame your haters, man. Shame your
Moses Kofi Noy from Ablekuma South.
Oh, it's not far.
Yeah, Ablekuma South. Moses, come for your ticket. I can't even read your message. Come for your ticket tomorrow. This one here is from Ogbe Momobi Na. Hey, from Tema Bankuman.
Come and collect tickets.
Ogbe Momobi Na.
Yes.
I beg you, ticket for the Dortmund African Legends game.
That's
and
right.
then this one is from Mutala.
Mutala.
I haven't said your
Mutala is
location.
from Kumasi.
Mutala. If you can come, you come to. We will give you. Santana at Choco.
Oh, Charlie.
Santana at Choco.
Oh, Santana.
Behave yourself, my brother.
Oh, Santana.
Santana. Ticket for you.
He's my grand uncle's neighbor, I'm sure.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my grand uncle is in Choco.
Charlie. Chief from Medina Estate. Chief from Medina Estate.
Yes.
If you are listening, come for your ticket tomorrow.
7.
Oh, Farouk headliner.
Oh, my guy.
Farouk, I beg you, come and take your
Farouk
ticket.
is my neighbor.
Let us not talk plenty.
Yeah.
Come and take your ticket.
More like.
When you hear Lakeside Estate,
Kosa from Nima. You are just here. 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Hey, come and take us.
Come and take
Have you
your
been
ticket.
counting the tickets?
Yes.
I'm
We're
good.
at 9 now. Last one.
Hugo Etiquette.
Behave yourself. This one here, Charlie, the guy didn't add his name. You
Oh, he
see,
did. Emma from
Legon.
Is there?
he has. See, don't do this. Don't. You are
Who give it to you?
You Imam from Lagos, you come and
No,
take
give
this.
it to Imam from
Imam from Lagos, and just for shege reasons, just in case one person in the 10 misses out, just one more for shege reasons. D'Angelo from Ashaima.
Hard.
Respect yourself and come for the ticket tomorrow.
Hard.
So this one, it should be first come,
Then
first
another
serve.
person who needs to respect himself. You can't tell me. Are you serious?
Is it?
Darwin Nunez is Uruguayan Lukaku. Are you serious?
Waka.
I'm even being generous.
You don't call me that move, do you?
Oh, at all.
No.
You should stay where you
The guy is confused.
We will have more time
come
next
on.
week to
Susu's
get
confused.
more into this Darwin Nunez transfer. But
I
first,
don't know
quick
if you
announcement
noticed
before you go.
this week, a lot of Chelsea legends have been writing.
Yes. One of Eric the kit man. Oh,
Eric
Charlie.
Asiedu Ofe was a kids manager at Chelsea. He's been since 2013.
Hey.
Came to Ghana 2 weeks ago and died after a short illness.
Man.
So from the Ofe family, they say they are very grateful to the love shown to the family and all of his children. Didier Drogba tweeted, he said, rest in heaven, Eric. Thank you for all your support and your dedication for
Sad
all
stuff.
of us at Chelsea. Thank you, big man. Rhys James also tweeted, he said, rest in peace, Eric. He was more than a kids man. He had a real clean heart, funny personality, and always wanted the best for all the academy lads. I miss the days when I used to rummage for fresh Nike socks. Until we meet again, fly high and rest easy. I will miss you. John Terry says, rest in peace, Eric. Heartbreaking news today, boss. You will be deeply missed. Colum Hudson Odoi also tweeted. So all of them showing their respects to Eric Asiedu Ofe. Served Chelsea well since 2013.
Let me read a few. Let me read a few messages here before we go. Rahman, on all levels, my concern is that Otto's team is getting used to not winning games, and that could be very dangerous to the psychology of the team. On players like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tariq, and Inaki, obviously they are quality, but we have to be careful with their integration. We have to make sure that we don't end up with players like Kevin Prince Boateng. We've been down this road before, so we should ensure that when it's done properly and does not imbalance the team. I'm sure the next few games will tell us all we need to know about Otto Addo's quality. Anyway, Rahman is a marriage counselor these days. Relax.
Wait, you take that thing, come your
Oh no, relax, don't go there. Just for the record, he's a marriage counselor. Just so people needed to know. Just quick one before we go. Okule, my good friend Okule, is getting to us. No, listen, Okule says something. He says the polo to polo. No, he's explaining it. He says polo to polo. Listen, was a deceptive pass from Polo to himself. If you don't know, now you know. Polo is how we end the show. My name is Benjamin Nketsia.
You mentioned the NFL Touchdown Africa. It's very important.
Yeah, quick one.
So the NFL are launching Africa. So there's an NFL fan zone on the 26th of June.
Okay.
It's a free event. Once you just sign up, they'll give you your tickets. It's $5 per participant to sign up. You meet some former NFL players. You can play some Madden NFL.
Cool.
You can do the speed test. You can throw the ball, and you see the Vince Lombardi trophy.
Oh, Charlie. I just need to go and hug Lombardi. That's all I
go and
need
hug Vince Lombardi. So there's a lot of Kempinski.
Hard. Kempinski.
Yes.
Hard. We'll be there. So thank you very much, Susu Graham. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Fentuo Tahiru. Thank you, Coach, for joining us over the phone. Rahman, for joining us all the way from London. I leave you with Polo to Polo. Please enjoy.
Mohamed Polo, the dribbling magician. Mohamed Polo, the magnificent. A story about the magician player. The player with different accolades. I'm a maestro. I'm a wizard. I'm Polo to Polo. I'm Wonder Boy. I'm player extraordinaire. I'm scientist footballer. I'm footballer extraordinaire. Masa, mention the you see, I've already the name is in the book. Different accolades, and you are in the country. I became a coach from showing to the whole Ghana public that this man, after footballing, he will become a coach, because I became a coach player with no other team has of force in the country. Let me tell you.